think we got a subcontract. Oh, somebody's already done one.
Yeah, I did that one earlier.
Well, there we go. So you already know how to do it.
I don't know.
Okay. So we can write another one on this contract. Yeah, there you go. Good there. I think you just had, I usually highlight it and then do and or plus. And so it's going to be change order number 2. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You're either,
More stuff.
more stuff. So you're either giving them something more to do or you're taking away something. How do you guys handle, do you ever back charge your subs for screwing up stuff?
Yeah.
Like when they hit the sheetrock or I don't know, whatever they do, where they mess something up.
Yeah.
And so you do like a deductive change order?
Deductive change.
Yeah. So it's, you just doing this. And then most of the time they don't agree, I guess, because somebody else did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mechanical, it's less than bump and drywall and more, their piece of equipment has some big issue that causes us to have to do a bunch of work. And
Yeah, oh, because you guys were doing it all before all that.
Yeah, they typically know, our equipment was
It's,
flawed.
yeah, I guess it's further down the line when they start screwing things up for other people.
Yeah.
Like the flooring guys maybe. I mean, everything's all ready to go and they back into something. And then they say they don't do it. I mean, we, as a GC, we used to have to fight with them all the time about, or they leave a big mess someplace.
Millwork contractors and casework contractors were the worst for me, because they come in when almost all the finishes are done.
Yeah,
and putting trim in.
I'll talk to my
They bring
guy.
in large bundles and they're smashing against the wall.
I'll talk to Allegheny Millwork.
Yeah, leaving covers in the back.
So did you do one? Did you enter it all?
I just entered them out.
Yeah, so this is just increasing the subcontract by, and it's increasing an existing item, right? You just picked an existing contract item?
No. You have.
Oh, yeah, you did.
For that. Yeah, when I put 1 in there, it gave me an error when I tried to do anything with it. Because I'm in it? No, when I tried to do a change order on an existing SL item, it gave me an error when I tried to.
If you click
So if I
save,
tried
let's
to-
just see what it does.
So I tried to click it, it was.
Why did it?
I don't know.
So you had to create a new SL item, CO number 1.
Yeah, so that changed.
So I like to do it that way, because I like to separate the change order costs from, but it shouldn't have,
I might have had something else wrong, but when I changed that, it fixed it.
How do you create a new SL item? Can you do it right from
Just
here?
type
Yeah.
in.
Oh,
just type it in.
Next available.
Yeah, so if you did plus there, I think it would just automatically add the next one. So, and that sequence is really the sequence within, I'm not really sure, like within maybe the whole subcontract, there's all, it's kind of a funny number there. Because we know we don't, because we know that it's not sequence number 17 on this one, but there's a whole bunch of them in there. I think it's sequences that are on that particular subcontract. If we go and then we just added one here, that's really all you do. It's pretty much the same thing. And once you've clicked, I mean, it tells you there, right on that totals, how much it was going to be. And then again, you have the approve button. Yeah, so then.
What that does is checks this, checks all the interface for all of them. It does. So on this one, that's what you can see we stepped out compared to the change order one. We had to check that box. On this one, you just hit the approve and it runs a thing where it auto checks the box, reads it out, and then it changes this to unapproved. And so to uncheck it, you just approve, approve, unapprove. See?
Which really is really nice. I like this one out there.
Yeah.
Because if you check that, it doesn't really do anything to this one. You have to check both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody came up with a better option.
Yeah, I mean, because it was really confused. That's where we were getting into that loop where I was like,
Oh, yeah.
die on the totals, then you gotta check the box, hit save, then hit refresh, and then it was updating.
Plus
This one,
they,
it's-
instead of having, wasn't it like it's over here and then it's over there? There was two sides you had to go to. Somebody was smart enough to figure you can use the same button. So it must be a smart guy figured this in. You can put some dates up there so that you notice as soon as you click approve, it puts the approved date in there for you. So you could, now this doesn't have any tracking though, so that's just the way it goes. That's pretty much it. Now you have to, I don't know, let's see under tasks, is the interface there? Yep, there you go. So now it's got the subcontract and that number 5 there. So if you click validate and interface. So now this will show up on your subcontract form, that tab that says change orders, you'll be able to see those. Plus there's other reports that you can see. And the typical way I do it is I write another, I like to track at least on subcontractors, a separate line for any change orders. So I know when they're asking to be paid for something, I know whether to pay them for that change order or not. Because typically we're having them do work and we're doing work on it's kind of the same owner change order that's gone out as a PCO.
Yeah.
And you don't want to pay them for that until it gets approved or until you get paid for it. Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times they'll bill for it, they're going to bill for it as soon as they, they do the work. I mean, that's the typical way. So you don't want to make sure you don't pay them for that because you're not getting paid for it. The owner's not going to pay for something that they didn't finalize the pending change order.
You're saying you wouldn't pay them until you got paid.
Right, but you'll go ahead and you'll do this and it'll issue to them and they'll have it on their schedule of values, the sub will include it and he'll request payment for it, right? He'll say, oh, I'm 50% complete on that line. Okay, well, if you're not careful, it can get posted in there and it can get paid. But if it's paid when paid, you got to be careful because they might get paid. But if you post that line, but it hasn't been approved yet, they don't care whether the owners approved it. They're just gonna mark it up.
Sure.
And so you're gonna say, well, no, we're not even including that. We're reducing your payout because that hasn't even been approved by the owner. Because if I stick it in there and we get paid, I'll pay you for that. But I'm not getting any money on that one yet because I haven't billed for it. Because they won't let me bill for it because they haven't approved it. I don't have it. It's not a contract adjustment yet for me. That makes sense? Am I
would say
doing too much detail there?
No, I just wouldn't give my subcontractor a change order for something that I haven't received a change order on yet.
Okay, so you wouldn't do this process until, that's why you separate them?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't create the subcontract piece change order until I've gotten the approval, then I'll write them.
And that's why at Turner, you couldn't, when you issued one of our subcontractors a change order, we couldn't issue them a change order without adjusting budget from the change order we had received. So we opened up a new line item for every change order we received from the owner. So I get paid by the owner. I write my subcontractor a change order, but when my boss goes to review that change order, because someone always reviews something going out, there's a line item showing the subcontractor value going up and a line item showing me deducting the cost that we already received.
Okay.
So that way we never paid someone without having the funds ourselves.
So the budget, okay.
That's why I was asking about the transfers here, because some of this looks SAP-ish.
Yeah, I mean, it's, after a while, it's like you can't really do it much.
Different, yeah.
Not really. SAP might be a little more, that's pretty complex stuff, and they might be able to write something a little easier where you could actually do a contract like move it around, do a budget adjustment, but not have an impact. the subcontract change order, because what I didn't want to do is create another item that was just a budget line, and it would be zero, but it would be, oh, I'm gonna move some dollars around. Well, it's gonna show as a subcontract, an item on the subcontract. Well, we don't really want that. So once you get these done, really what you're gonna do is you're gonna have to go back and do like either an ACO or a PCO for an internal, for I'm moving this and I'm moving that. We used to call them, I don't know, what were they called? It was probably back in the old days, it was probably a JC budget adjustment or something, because they didn't have a PM. So you just moved dollars around. Or it was a JC contract.
Yeah, right now, I
Adjustment or
think
something.
Maxwell, only accounting has the ability to do that, correct? Move costs from phase to phase,
Well, we're not
transfers.
doing a
Yeah,
cost.
cost.
Yeah, but we're not doing a cost. What we're doing is we're going in and we're doing a budget adjustment.
Oh.
So it's gonna be,
But still, accounting takes care of that for us right
They
now.
could do it.
yeah, so it's, yeah,
It's just a
so,
matter of,
Knowing where to find it.
yeah, and then, I would say the other thing is kind of limiting it to some extent so that you don't have, everybody being able to kind of go in there and it's kind of a little bit of control on it.
Yeah, they do it by, in the system by doing a change order, internal change orders.
Oh, that's how they adjust the budgets?
mhm.
Oh,
Which is nice, because then there's a trail.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Right now,
mean,
it's just
and
updating
you
the
can
job
do it
post
either on the
statements,
PCO form or you can do it on the ACO form.
For the
Well,
main-
There's a
it's
little
task code.
Drop down that says
Yeah.
internal. And once you do that, there's no contract amount change.
Yep.
It's just saying, oh, I'm moving, $500 from here to here, and you can do a bunch of them at once. You're just moving dollars around, and we did it all the time. So it's not hard. I mean, and you can go straight to the ACO form and do it if you want. That's about all you can really do.
Just the other thing, Justin, I don't know if you've seen the related items before.
The what?
Related items on the right.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
that's with your, this little linkage. Oops, God dang, I just barely touched something and did that. There we go.
It's pretty sensitive, that.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So this little link here, so you can view related items. And so what it's doing is I'm under the subcontracts, and it's showing me the change order I just did, and if I want to bring that up, so anything related, right? So if there was RFIs written in this change order, they're going to be in there in the related items. And
That's
It-
nice. What's one CO one that's a change order we sent to that's a subcontract change order to their,
Yeah, that's
to their
what you
contract.
did.
Yeah.
I think that's the one that Isaac did. So you can double click it though, and it's going to bring it up. So it takes you right to place for any related items.
It's nice. And if there was any attachments, it shows those in there too. Underneath, like another little,
if this subcontractor's phase code was included on a change order that we submit to the owner, would that be in the related items?
I don't think so because it's not linked to that subcontract. Yeah, because you can put the phase there. But
That's
if
a
you don't
data
link
record.
it, yeah, but if you're not linking it to the subcontract,
It won't show you. That makes
yeah.
So this one would be Lister, right?
Yeah,
And so that's the attachments, right?
right, those are just the various copies of the original subcontract, because every time you do you click you do the create and send thing,
Gotcha.
it keeps adding one. Does it every single time. It's nice, but then it gets a little, okay, I'm just doing it again, all right, and it's there. You can delete those,
Gotcha.
but it's, okay, so let's see, we looked at, we did those, okay. I'm going to interface those. Okay, so we've covered change order stuff, and we also, so we discussed, Yeah, and if you wanna, I mean, we actually had some kind of form we submitted and then somebody entered them, but, you know, you can just manually go in and create a budget adjustment. You know, once again, you know, you can, the issue with making budget adjustments is I can move money around to cover mismanagement. So I could say, oh, I'm saving money over here, but I'm gonna move some of that over here to where I'm not doing so well and make it look like everything's all good. You can do that, but we really don't want you to do that. That's, you know, but I can't, you know, we had guys that did that.
Sure.
And then they'd get in trouble. Like, not for me, but somebody would say, oh, so I see, you didn't do well on this, but you made it so everything all smoothed out. Well, we need to know that the estimate wasn't right. Like, we didn't put enough time in there. Or that you didn't manage that very well. So we know that what's going on. Like, how much does it really cost? It's not like, you know, so they'd have the cost, but then they might make it look like the variance was like zero or very little. So it wasn't a red flag to anybody. Well, if you do that, then you're just making it bad for the whole company. So
Yeah.
don't do that. I don't know if there's a way to, I mean, you have to go in and like really delve into the whole project to find where all these adjustments are. You can see them, you can find all those budget adjustments. And then if you see a lot of them, you know that something's going on. Because if somebody's moving, you know, budgets around from one to another, and you can, so our owners would figure it out, and then they have it going on.
Yeah, for us, one of the handful of budget adjustments, even on major projects, we go red flags, we just don't have that. We don't carry as many E holes or C holes as a general contractor.
Yeah, and so you're just, I mean, you're moving it like, oh, okay, so we got some money to do something, but we didn't know where we were gonna use it.
Exactly.
And so we're gonna put it in a line item for contingency or, you know, to work to be done or something, whatever, and then you just move it from there to the right one. It's when it's coming from different actual activity codes into some other activity code,
Yeah.
then you know that they're just moving money around to cover their.
Sure, if you see labor budget from underground get switched over to fixtures, you know, trim
And you
install,
know-
that they save money on underground, they're trying to make up
Right.
that.
So, but if it's from a place where it's just a holding area up into something, and then you can tell whether it's a good one or not.
Yeah.
So it's just something to think about. Okay.